Is there a magic number of investors to keep the SEC away? Well, this isn't a fairy tale, and you don't sprinkle magic fairy dust and then all of a sudden it's repellent. It's not kryptonite and keep the SEC away. There's nothing like that. The only thing you can do in this business is conform within the rules of the law, make sure you're properly supervised by a good attorney, and that everything is taken care of. There are a lot of guys who try to short circuit the rules. They try to come up with little crazy circumventions or different kinds of bypasses. They might seem like they work until they don't, and they don't when somebody sues you and you find out that you don't have any of the protection that you expected. So I've seen this happen. It is always ugly. I would be very careful about this. All these joint venture deals that you do, all these convertible promissory notes that you do, if you're doing this kind of stuff, they don't work. I understand they're short-term band-aids. Sometimes you don't have the money to put everything together until you get the money, you get this big chicken and the egg thing. But just know this stuff doesn't really work. So be very, very careful when you're operating in that capacity. So here's the bottom line to the question. Is there a magic number? The answer is, if something goes wrong, even a single investor could call the SEC and cause you all sorts of problems. And it doesn't matter, by the way, if this person is your grandmother. Your own grandmother could cause these problems for you. So you can't take lightly these rules no matter what. You can't say, well, I just have friends and family, so I'm not going to do a private placement. I'm not going to do the documentation. I'm not going to go through the process of making this happen. Let me tell you something. Number one, you're going to do one round of funding, so you're going to raise some money. But what happens if you need more money? What happens if later on you decide, gee, I need to build a second piece, or we need a capital call, we need to go back to some people, and my people don't have the money? Now you got to bring in some outsiders. If you don't have a properly structured deal, then you can't go get the kind of resources that you need. You're not going to be able to invoke the tools that you need to be successful. So the question, it's a funny question, it's a cute question, but the truth is, it's not a funny answer. It's a serious answer. And the answer is that a single person could cause you all kinds of problems that you need to be concerned about. So you need great documents. You need to stay on top of your things here and really be careful that you're doing things in the right way. Because if you're not, you could end up falling into a trap. And when you do these joint ventures with the specific goal of trying to circumvent the securities rules, you set up one person as a passive partner or somebody who's normally passive, you call them active. As soon as something falls apart, he's going to get an attorney. And as soon as the guy gets an attorney, the attorney's going to say, well, were you involved in the business? No, not really. Were you ever involved? No, not really. Did you sign documents? No. Did you vote? No. Did you sign checks? No. Did you go to meetings? No. Did you visit the property? No. What did you do? I just wrote a check. That's all the guy asked me to do. And that's pretty much going to be the definition of a passive partner. So you can call somebody active all day long until they come forward and they say that they weren't, and then they find out that you tricked them into doing that. No investor is going to assume the liability of being an active partner, instead of being a passive one. That's just not what they do. They're just not going to do that. So I get why people want two people to be business partners together, both active, because the rules, the securities rules stop applying in that situation. But that's not really the truth. And if you operate outside the truth and something goes wrong, then you're gonna have to come up and fess up, and then it's gonna not be pretty. So this is a great business. Just do it right, and then go out and stake your claim.